If your racecraft isn't clinically clean, then you're going to be losing out on time when you're racing in your sim. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you what good racecraft looks like and how you can set yourself up for success when you're overtaking on track. I'm Scott Mansell, head coach from Driver61 Sim Racing, where we teach you to improve your technique, win races and fulfill your driving potential. In this video, we're going to be riding on board with one of our subscribers, Powell, as he races in iRacing, so we can use the live situation for me to analyse his racecraft and what decisions he's sort of made. So we've gone green. He was a little bit behind the car in front here, so he's not made a fantastic start. His position well here, there's not really much that he can do. We're on the inside, so we're just going to try and drive down into the space. In a bit of a difficult position here, because that driver could have quite easily come down on us and caused a problem. But luckily we're past him now and we're back onto the normal racing line. So now it's just a case of trying to get your head down, picking out all of the braking references, making sure that we're keeping everything nice and tidy in order to try and catch the car ahead. Trying to sit in the toe here, but we are a little bit far away as we're coming down the back straight here. We don't need to be jinking across like that. You see Powell moved to the middle of the road slightly. I don't really know the reason that he did that, but when we're in this situation behind cars, all we need to focus on is actually moving ourselves closer to them. And it's something that I see quite a lot with drivers, is when they're behind the car and close to them, they actually start to move across, as he is now actually, so it opens up the view. But as soon as you do that, then you're restricting your line into the corner, and that means that you're not going through the corner in the most efficient way, meaning that your minimum corner speed will be lower and you won't be able to carry the speed out the corner. So when you're in traffic, stay on the right racing line. Try not to drive so you can just see. You have to become used to looking through the car ahead. Okay, so the guy's gone off just in front of us. We're getting a good run through here. So we've nipped through on the white car there. We're getting a good run on the red one. Position ourselves so we can get up the inside. What could have been a little bit better there, if there was an overtaking opportunity, was that he still actually had a little bit of steering angle in the car when he got on the brakes. If the car's turning, then it's not going to decelerate or brake at the maximum efficiency. So in those situations, if you're having to move out of the braking line coming down to the corner, you want to maybe dive up the inside of the car. Jink the car out, get the platform flat, get the steering wheel straight before you get on the brakes. If you do that, then you might be able to get past the car in front. So again here, we just sat in the toe, but it's again head down, thinking about the braking point coming up on us. Don't go off the normal racing line. He's doing that well. We've gone in pretty well there. I'm going to take a look at his throttle and braking trace just while we're catching these cars up ahead. Flat out on the accelerator, hard braking here, easing up out of the brakes. So there I can see actually, if you watched it, he popped up off the brakes quite quickly, which means that the front of the car is going to pop up very quickly and we're going to lose control of the front and it's probably going to understeer. We have more videos in this series about trail braking, so check those out if you really want to understand how to trail brake. On the brakes again, and did pretty well into there. Still, the last bit when he's coming off the brakes is a little bit quick. But now we're in the traffic, okay? So this car's a bit naughty there, moved across on us. He's wandering around the road a little bit too much, to be honest, in my opinion. But Powell did well there to keep his nose clean. That's it. I'd get on the outside here so we can try and get a good run through this corner, because the guy on the inside's tight and we're going to try and get a good run coming out of here. Again, we're in a slightly better position than this car in front of us. Now we just need to focus on getting out of this right-hander as quickly as possible so we can get a good run. Unfortunately, the car in front's got a bit of a better run coming out than we have. So he's gapped us just a little bit. So again, it's about getting your head down. You know, there are a gaggle of cars in front of us. That's 4 from first, second, third, fourth. Oh no, sorry, it's second, third, fourth, fifth, and we're sixth. The leader's just gone around, I can see. So we've got this gaggle here. We can definitely get on the podium here if we keep things tidy. The biggest thing for Powell here is that he's a little bit lumpy when he's coming off the brakes. He's losing control of the front of the car. So when he's practicing and testing, that's what he needs to focus on. Got a good run here. Dive in at the inside. Good job there. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on the brakes there, I think. There was an opportunity. I know he's trying to keep his nose clean, and this red car in front of us is moving around a little bit in those braking zones. So do have to be a bit careful with them. Don't want to get a penalty. Really in the toe now. I would show my nose. That's perfect. Try and get on the brakes later, but we haven't done that. Bring the car back onto the line. Unfortunately, we missed the eight. Well, we went in a little bit late there with the turn in. Just sat in the traffic. That's good. Trying to get a nice wide line into here. On the throttle nice and early. Getting a decent run coming out. Very gradually catching this guy up in front of us. I think we're going to run out of time before we get to the next turn. Again, show him the nose, but bring the car back onto the line. So here, we need to make sure that we're bringing the car back onto the line. Yes, it's all well and good showing the nose, but make sure that you're not restricting the line thereafter, because otherwise you're costing time, right? Otherwise, you know, at this point now, you could have been even closer to him. This is an opportunity. Unfortunately, there's not enough deceleration there to get past him. But if you'd have been on the right line 3 corners back, then you would have been right on his bumper. When he made the mistake, you would have been past him there. So you can see that it's really important to be efficient in these positions. So we're just moving ahead to a few laps further ahead because this is where we actually do make the overtaking manoeuvre. We've got a good run coming out of the previous right-hander. Keeping the car on the right line, not just trying to dive up the inside without being close enough. Got a good run coming out of here. So we're in a good position now to overtake. Now the important thing about overtakes is actually most of the work is done on the straight, which is why it's so important to stay on the proper racing line so you can get a good run and then drive past them on the straight. And now all we need to do is be good on the brakes, and unfortunately we just missed out on that, but we're doing the cutback up the inside. Hopefully this guy's seen us, and he's just run a little bit wide. So that was always going to happen. Really good move there. But the important point here is to understand that most overtaking manoeuvres are set up at least, or even completed on the previous straight. That way you'll make your overtaking much more efficient, rather than taking a lunge or trying to dive up the inside too early and costing yourself time. If it's 2/10 that it costs you, or 3/10, these accumulate and it ends up being a massive amount of time. Now that you've had an introduction to overtaking, why not check out the rest of the playlist that I've put together for you that will teach you sim racing techniques to make you as quick as possible in the shortest amount of time. Just click the video up here and I'll catch you in the next one.